Hello and welcome to Full Potential Living Daily. What is up, guys? Happy Tuesday. In this Full Potential Living Daily, what is this about? Today and throughout this process, every day I'll be posting a video to help you have daily inspiration, motivation, and wisdom to help you be at your best every day to make your biggest dreams become reality. I want to help you, my friend, full potential living, homie, friend. I want to help you step into three things: power, purpose, and your full potential every day, because living your best life starts today. It starts now, and it's just a decision. So if you want to listen and get into your potential every day, tune in, subscribe on this YouTube channel, check it out. Make sure you listen every day for your potential. I'm here to serve you. So let's go. Let's get into it. Today, we'll be talking about something that has powerfully and positively impacted my own life in achieving my biggest goals. What if there was one thing that you could really keep your mind in this place? There was one thing that really helped you move forward beyond the obstacles, something that helped you in the hardest of times, in the most challenging moments. What would that tool be for you? Today, I want to talk about what is your number one thought? What is your number one powerful identity thought for you? What is that thing? What is that thing? What do I mean by that? For me, when I go back years ago, I always wanted to be an athlete. I wanted to be a pro athlete. That was my number one thing, right? And so think about, what is that number one thought? Some call it a vision, some call it a goal, some call it a dream. But what is that number one thought that you keep repeating to yourself that is that highest version of yourself? What is it? What is it? For me, growing up, I always would tell everyone that I wanted to be a pro athlete. Everybody that I ran into, everybody that I met, for the most part, if they asked me what I do, I was a baseball player, right? My identity was tied up in one thing. That's a whole other story. But I believed that I was going to be a pro athlete. So that's what I would tell myself constantly. That was my number one thought that inspired me every day. I would pray for it. I would ask for it. Every time I looked at the moon, every time I blew out a candle, I was like, wow, I'm a pro athlete. And that was my singular one thing North Star. If you followed Full Potential Living, you know how important a vision is. And when I say vision, I'm talking about a crystal clear picture of the life you're living and the person you want to become, and really getting very descriptive, getting it on paper in every area of your life, right? But right now, I'm actually talking about something a little different. This is the thought that is at the very top of that, kind of the thing that you would call yourself when you're there. The reason this is important is because it helps you really identify yourself with your goal. It helps you identify, literally make yourself that person right now, so that you continue to move forward and take action even in the hardest of times, no matter how far the journey is. So for me, saying, oh, I'm a pro athlete, I want to be a pro athlete, right? That was the thought that always, or the goal or the vision, whatever you want to call it, it was the top of the mountain that I identified with. And if you know personal development, if you know business development, if you know anything about growth, the number one way to grow for you is to identify with that higher version, identify with that type of person, literally become the identity of that person. That's why in my coaching, we create alternative egos. We create a higher version of ourselves that we call it something. But this is something you can use every day. Every day you can think, okay, what would this version of myself do? So what is your thought? What is your thought today on this Tuesday? What is your thought? What is your number one thought of inspiration? What is your number one vision of inspiration at the top? Just a one-liner. You know, for me, it's been, I want to be a pro athlete. Now it's, I want to be a global thought leader. I don't necessarily want to be an influencer. I want to be a global thought leader. That one thought pulls me forward every day. And I identify with that person. And over time, that molds me into the type of person who would be that identity, who would have that level of influence and impact towards others. So think about it for you. What is your number one thought that you can identify with today that's going to pull you through that work you know you don't want to do in the moment, that's going to push you or pull you towards that best version of yourself while you're in the work, while you're in the grind, or while you're facing that relationship you know you need to face today, and you need to tell her that thing. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Tell her today. Tell her how you feel today, or tell your team how you feel today. Tell them about something that you've been hiding, something that you haven't been able to tell them, but you know you need to. Step up. Tell them today. What is your number one thought? And then ask a question around it, right? What would the best version of me do right now? But that's not just descriptive enough. You need to get specific. What is your number one thought of inspiration that pulls you forward? So what would a pro athlete do right now, right? What would he do? What would a global thought leader do right now? What would he do? Well, he would step up. He would record this video even when he just got back from a 8-hour flight, you know, flying for 8 hours and traveling the whole day. He would get up, he would talk to people, he would record this video, right? So what would you do if you're at your best version? And what is that number one thought or number one vision statement, number one identity statement? It's probably the best way to call it, right? There we go. I'm fleshing it out. What is that number one identity statement for you that is going to pull you forward, and then use that today, right? What would a global thought leader do in this moment? What would a global thought leader do with his day? If I want to get to that level of those people, what would he do today? Oh man, all right. Well, that means I got to step up. That means I got to stand in my power. That means I got to express how I really feel. That means even if I'm worried about what people think, I do what I say. I do what I know I need to do. Even if people don't like it or people judge me, I step up. I stand up, because that's what that version of me would do today. So what is your new identity statement? I don't want you to tell yourself this one time. This should be something that is the one thing that is always there. No matter what goals you set, no matter how much money you make, businesses you build, no matter, you know, how well your relationships are going or whatever, there should be an identity statement that continuously is far out, that pulls you forward every day. What is that number one thing for you? What is that number one identity statement? Do you want to be a pro athlete? Do you want to be a pro athlete in the business world? Do you want to be an executive? Do you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you want to be extremely healthy? That person that's extremely healthy, that is an expert in your field, right? That is a multi-millionaire doing what they love every day. What is your identity statement that is going to keep you pulling you forward, keep pushing you, pulling you forward every day? Because that identity statement should excite you. It should challenge you, and then it should excite you. So today on this Tuesday, think about, what is your identity statement that's far out, maybe even is a little ridiculous to what most people would think, but you don't think that. You're somebody who's going to live your full potential life, right? You're not settling for less. You want to live an extraordinary life, right? So think about, for you today, what is that identity statement that's going to pull you forward? Drop it in the comments below. Drop it in the comments below. All right. Let us know what you think. Drop it below. I'd love to hear some of your identity statements. Please drop it. Let me hear what you got. I want to hear your biggest vision, your biggest identity statement, your biggest goal. Stop limiting yourself. I'm here to wake you up to your real, full potential. That's what I got for you guys today. I hope this helps you on your Tuesday. Tune in every day in the morning or midday to help you live your full potential life, because this is Full Potential Living Daily. That's the name, by the way. Check out some of the other videos, but I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Drop a comment. Make sure you subscribe, because you're going to get that video every day. So you can hit that button. You can just turn it on when you're tired, when you're out of it, when you're overwhelmed. I'm going to bring inspiration, motivation, wisdom your way every day so that you can step into power, purpose, and full potential, because it's a day by day thing. You have to do it every day. Let's go. Remember, do not settle. Full potential or nothing. Peace.